Okay, guys, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. It was pretty good here in Florida. It's turned off a little cool. See the jacket? We've had 80 degrees, and all of a sudden now it's down in the 30s. Really nice. I like this weather. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about today is a war mindset. Often in survival, we kind of have to adopt a war mindset. And if you haven't been to war, you haven't been in a combat situation, and you haven't been afraid, and you haven't, wondered if you're going to live another day, then it's a very different world as opposed to like milsim or some shit like that where you go out and you just practice all the stuff, which is a good thing. I mean, you're learning, manipulation of weapons, you're learning how to camp in the raw, you learn how to do all that stuff, but the part that's missing from that is the real fear of not knowing if you will ever see your loved ones again, and not knowing how you're going to really react when a bullet cracks above your head, if you're going to be able to get up and move and shoot and do all those things, or you're going to freeze. Just things where you start thinking about, if I fly over that next ridge line where I'm vulnerable to AAA fire, am I going to make it? And those are all the hard questions, and those are things that haunt soldiers. And if you say you've been in combat and you weren't afraid at one point or another, you're full of shit. Or either you're crazy or something, I don't know. But some point along the way, you do face fear. Because the great tester is out there everywhere in combat. So I want to talk to you today about war mindset and some things that you really have to do to overcome, to survive in combat and to survive in a real life survival situation where you find yourself, only you finding yourself having to survive, and you don't have anybody to help you. You have nothing. Maybe you're out in the wilderness, and maybe your plane crashed in the wilderness, or maybe you get lost, or maybe you get in a gang fight. A gang jumps on you. Something happens that you find yourself having to survive with a war mindset, a warrior mindset. So these are some things that I just kind of jotted down. I thought about that will help you survive with a warrior mindset. The first and foremost thing you need to do is stow your feelings. Nobody gives a shit how you feel. The bear don't care how you feel about being eaten. The enemy don't care about how you feel about being shot. Nobody gives a shit about your feelings. Stow those feelings immediately. I saw, I hate to quote movies, but in the movie G.I. Jane, the instructor said, "A bird will fall frozen from a bough, never feeling sorry for himself." And that is so true, because that's how things in the wild survive, is they don't feel sorry for themselves. So stow those feelings. The second thing you need to do is stow your sympathy for others. And I know that's hard to do when you're a Christian and all that, but the truth is, if someone's there and there's nothing you can do about it and they're dying, then you're going to have to move on. You can't sit there and wallow in their pity and feel sorry for them to the point that you get compromised too. So that was number 2, stow your sympathy. Number 3, willingness to do anything, especially extreme violence. This is a hard one. A lot of people say, well, I'll do this, I'll do that. I'll just shoot them, I'll just stab them, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you, it takes a lot to push a knife into someone's side. Because, number 1, you have some kind of sympathy in the back of your mind for that person, because you know how that's going to feel. And it takes a lot to pull the trigger. I know somebody on this, watching this, going to say, bullshit, I'll shoot somebody. Have you ever shot anybody? Have you ever stuck a knife in anybody? So shut the fuck up. You don't know what you'll do. Okay? All right, here we go. Number 4, keep up vigilance. Be vigilant at all times. You have to be vigilant at all times. I know People go, you're always looking over your shoulder. You always have to look over your shoulder. You always have to see what's creeping up behind you. You always have to keep your ears open, your eyes open, especially if your plane gets shot down, you're in the wilderness. Because now you're at the bottom of the food chain. You might even be injured. Everything out there wants to kill or eat you. So keep up your vigilance. Sleep with one eye open. Be ready at all the times. And that leads me to the next one. Security is priority one. Above everything. Because if you don't have security and you're not ready, then water ain't going to mean shit, food ain't going to mean shit, shelter ain't going to mean shit, and medical ain't going to mean shit if the bear eats you first and you're not prepared. Okay? Or the enemy slips up on you. The next part is compartmentalize relationships. If you're out in a survival situation, you can't sit around the whole time thinking about your relationships. You can't let relationships destroy you because someone's angry with you or someone all of a sudden ditched you and didn't want to have anything to do with you. Screw that. Move on, compartmentalize it, and move the hell on. Don't let that be your Achilles heel. The next, keep up equipment at hand. Keep your equipment at hand, not keep up. Keep your equipment at hand. It's hard to read my own handwriting. Keep your equipment at hand at all times. Keep it on you if possible. If you got a vest, wear a vest and put it on you instead of a backpack. Because a backpack you're going to pull off and throw down. A vest, you'll always have it on. You have your lighter, your knife, all the basic stuff that you're going to need on you at all times. So keep your equipment at hand. Keep your rifle at hand. You should always be able to reach and grab a weapon, arm's reach, all times. The next, be ready at a moment's notice. Well, that's what I just talked about. Be ready at a second's notice. A moment is too long. Be ready at a second's notice. If someone walks up and busts your window out of your car, can you have a weapon in their face before they reach in? Win the fight no matter what. Listen, a lot of times when you're training for martial arts or jiu-jitsu or out on the range or whatever, most of the time that training is done for competition. It's done for whatever. They don't teach you to do whatever it takes to win the fight. I.e., they don't teach you to kick them in the nuts. They don't teach you to gouge their eyes out. They don't teach you to throat punch them. All that stuff is not allowed when you're practicing. So that's the only thing I have against like doing a lot of martial arts and stuff, because they teach you to hold back your punches. In a real survival situation, you do whatever it takes. There's no such thing as a fair fight. There's no such thing as fighting like a man. People go, well, why do you need a gun? Why do you need a knife? Won't you fight like a man? I'm going to fight to win. I don't care what it's like, a man, a woman, whatever, I'm fighting to win. And that means if I have to hit you in the face, the eyes, the nose, the gut, the nuts, whatever, break your leg, I'm fighting to win. I don't fight like a man. It's fight to win. You have to get that mindset, especially if you're going to war or you're going to be out in survival. You're fighting to win. You don't care about the bear and her cubs. You kill them. You don't let them eat you. All right. The next. No self-pity. That's back to the first one. So that's part of stow the feelings. No self-pity. The next. Uncomfortable is the norm. Have you ever heard people that was in the military say, embrace the suck? Well, that means it's going to be uncomfortable. That's the norm. You're going to be cold a little bit. You're going to be tired a lot. You're going to be thirsty some. You're definitely going to be hungry. You're going to be aggravated. You're going to be heartbroken. You're going to be all the emotions that God has given us to the negative side. So a lot of people say, well, I don't like anything negative in my life. Well, you better fucking get used to it, because there's going to be a lot of negative shit hit you in the face in your life. You better learn how to deal with negative. You better learn how to embrace the suck, because uncomfortability is going to be the norm. I remember, guys, a lot of times we were sleeping in the fucking dirt, straight out in the dirt. I'm talking about, we dug a sand bed, a little hole, a little deeper than your head, and your head laid on the actual dirt. Next thing, know what you're fighting for. A lot of people go, well, we're out here fighting for freedom. Really? Are you really fighting for freedom? Or are you fighting to make it back home? Are you fighting for the guy next to you? Are you fighting for the girlfriend or the wife that you love so much, or the kids that you love so much? I don't know what you're fighting for, but make sure you know what you're fighting for. And then keep that, bury that deep in your heart, and don't ever, ever quit that fight. You do whatever it takes to win the fight for what you're fighting for. Maintain your equipment and your gear. This is so important, because they always say if you take care of your equipment will take care of you. This is so important. If you don't keep your damn knife sharp, it won't cut when you need it to cut in that very important time. If you don't keep your weapon clean, it won't fire, or to misfire, or to jam, or all this kind of stuff. I have seen people come to the range over and over and over again, and their weapons just constantly jammed. And I was like, when's the last time you cleaned that weapon? Well, I don't know, 3 or 4 times ago. All right, go clean your weapon, then come back. So take care of your equipment, and your equipment will take care of you. Especially like backpacks and stuff. Before you go to the field, or before you go off to a war, look at your equipment. Take it for a damn hike. I mean, the Army's going to make you do that over and over again until you work out all the screw-ups. But at least go through and check all your shit before you go out. The next one, sleep when you can. Okay? If you know you're going to be up for 2 or 3 days, and try to get some sleep before that time. And try to get yourself acclimated to not having sleep. So if you know that your normal life when you go down range is going to be only 3 or 4 hours of sleep, then start making yourself stay up so you're only used to 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And then when you're on the plane going there, sleep. When you're in the truck, sleep. Sleep when you can. Eat lots of calories before you go out, because you're probably going to need them. Anytime you get a chance to sleep, eat, or drink water, or use a bathroom, do it. Pee before you go out. Sleep before you can. Use the bathroom before you get in the helicopter, because it could be an 8-hour friggin' combat mission. Time you land, somebody needs you to haul ass back out and shoot up another convoy or whatever the hell you're shooting up, and you don't have time to get out and take a piss. So sleep, eat, drink, and pee when you can. Get all your body functions taken care of right before you have to go do stuff. And always keep your water topped off. Keep your water topped off. And then last but not least, and probably the most important thing, is pray. Pray that God will give you wisdom, strength to overcome the things at hand. These are so important, because if you don't have faith and you don't have an internal belief, then you're missing a huge piece of the survival puzzle. Because God will drop things in for you that you didn't expect. He will send things to help you that you didn't expect. Be ready and be prayed up, as I say. So I want you to just seriously think about some of these things I just talked about before you jump in and haul ass to Ukraine or wherever you think you might be about to go, or before you even just get on an airplane and cross the Atlantic. The plane could go down. Or before you get an airplane and cross the Rockies, because it could go down the Rockies. You could be out there for 2 or 3 days getting chased by a damn grizzly bear, or it could be even closer to that. You could be getting in a car accident, one of these vehicles, getting a car accident, and you're laying beside the road for 15, 20 minutes trying to survive till the ambulance gets there and trying to get a tourniquet on. And you have to just bury your sympathy, bury your feelings, and you have to make it through. So, all right, there's your survival mindset lesson for today. I hope everybody is really thankful for things in their lives. And I know I am. There's a lot of things that's missing in my life that I wish could get back in my life. But hey, it is what it is. But I'm thankful for everything and every experience God gives me. And I'm thankful for the knowledge that he has given me and laid in the open book for me to read, and laid in the life experiences for me to learn from. And I'm thankful that I survived them. Okay, go out and make yourself, your family, and your fellow warrior